Get my shit around here. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Whew. It's been a busy week. It's the Friday before Memorial Day. Thank you to all who served, all who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And, yeah, they keep us safe. So, thank you to all of our folks in the military, all branches, all ways. Dougie's in the house. What's up, Mr. Douglas Stedding? We have a pretty Guards red car we're going to talk about tonight. It's not yours, though, but you did get to see it. I have a couple other we're going to talk about. Wait for a few of you to file in. What all went down this week? Let's see. Put 458 up for sale. That has been kind of a clusterfuck so far, but that's all right. So that's why I don't like selling cars. It's a bunch of tire kicking and talking to dealers about them trying to steal it from you and all this kind of garbage. There's no fun transaction in regards to all that. So I'll keeping on, and if the right offer doesn't come along, then I keep it. Not the end of the world. It's a nice car. Just, it's a nice car. It's a nice car. It's a nice car. What's everybody up to this weekend? I'm going to try and ride a bike. Always try to ride a bike. Hey, that car. It's a pretty car. It's a very photogenic car. Yeah, she's pretty. See if Mark or anybody else wants to join us before I start deep diving into some dater potato. We are going to talk about the new 3 RS on track. We are going to talk about some of our creations on track, and we're going to compare some of them. So that's kind of fun. We're going to look at, leave that up for a second. That way guys can come back to it. We're going to talk about the 3RS 992 GT3 RS Lab Rat in the upper left. Virtually stock. It's got an alignment on it. It has some brake pads on it, brake fluid in it. It has our power package on it, but otherwise stock. We didn't do anything with the aero. We didn't do anything with the suspension except twist the little knobbies on the steering wheel. So yeah, essentially call it stock plus-ish. We've got below that on the left, the pretty red thing with the gold wheels. It's a very popular combination among our customers. It looks nice. It's pretty. That is Mr. Seth Thomas's personal car, Racer Seth Thomas. He has a full Lab Rat package. He has full power package, full Valkyrie Aero package, MCS 3-ways. He has AP racing brakes, and he checks the lines often. He has, I think, DS111 pads. Honestly, don't know what brake pads he has. Not that important. And then finally, we're not going to compare this one. This is actually a model that's not really in the picture, even though it looks like it might be. Not a GT1. That would be a hell of a comparo. Put a GT1 out there, and who's got one of those? We know anybody with a GT1? That'd be pretty dope. The third car in this comparison will be the GT3 RS Lab Rat. And we will be doing some same driver, same track comparisons, even though we're going to jump from coast to coast. So we're going to use the Ridge for some of it. We're going to use Road Atlanta for some of it, and then we'll be back at the Ridge. So since it's just us and Doug chatting, won't we just jump in? Hey, what's up, Dawn Underdog?
There's 7.
We got 7 of you hiding. What's going on, folks? All right, which one we want to look at first? What we say? No. New 3RS versus... Yeah, at the Ridge. That's correct. Yeah. The new 3RS and the 4RS Lab Rat at the Ridge. This is pretty freaking cool. Data rocks. Race Navigator rocks because it makes it really easy. Hey, what's going on? I cracked up one of the new that we just got. I got a I got a restock from our friend Glenn McCallum. What's up, TRS Cobra? So Toshport can help me fumble my way through looking at data because I'm an engineer, but I'm not a race car driver. So I generally get what I'm looking at, but you know. All right, so what we have here on the left, forgive the different formats. We'll just get through it. Yes, I realize that the car on the upper left, the video, that is the 4RS. In the upper right is our new 3RS. The 4RS, it was a cooler day. The 3RS, I won't say it was warm. It was last Friday, Thursday. When the hell were we there? Yeah, it was supposed to be 65 and sunny, but it was like 45 and like blowing black. It was horrible. So it was a pretty windy day. So that could have something to say, but this is interesting. So this is a GT4 RS with our full package versus, and that includes our power package. This includes the Valkyrie aero setup. This includes MCS three-ways, Supercar 3Rs, 19-inch wheels, PFC brakes, all of our suspension goodies we could throw at it. Lots of sauce, lots and lots of sauce. So we're going to look at the lap between what Ted did in the new 3RS and what he did in the GT4 RS. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Welcome, Jason. Thanks for coming. We're looking at the GT4 RS Lab Rat versus the new 3RS. Both of them driven by my man Ted Anthony Jr. You can see the traces look remarkably the same. Speed traces, there's a little bit of difference. There's a little wobble. You can see him make a little correction there. This is coming up the hill. So the coming into the braking zone. So what's funny is the GT3 RS makes 525 horsepower according to Porsche, and the 4RS doesn't. And yet, both of them seem to hit same top speeds. Curious. Maybe both of them are making a lot more than they were. Questions. We're here for answers. They're heckling me over here. So what's crazy is I'll cut to the finish. These two cars finished 0.008 of a second separated in lap time. Oops, hold up. That wasn't supposed to happen. So what did Ted tell me? He had the lap times here in front of me. I got to find him here for a second. Give me 1 second. You got to scroll to that part. There we go. So that is the Delta. Except my shot is right over. There you go. And the 4RS went 140.398. The 992 GT3 RS went 140.406 for a 0.008 win to the 4RS. Yeah, they're both about 3K. The 3RS looks like a big girl. She doesn't weigh that much. So kudos to Porsche for that. 3RS is about, or 4RS is about the same. So let's do, just to remind everybody, let's do the 4RS versus the 4RS, original versus stock versus new from YouTube. Because that'll remind some folks. No, you can't go buy a GT4 RS and go as fast as a 3RS. That's not the point. Not the point, unfortunately. Yeah. So what we're looking at here is we got a speed trace, and then we've got cumulative time differential in green rising in the speed trace. So that'd be the first, the kind of the middle graph there. And then we've got combined G load as the next kind of squiggly lines together, the orange and green trace. So you can show how much more G's the orange box is. That's the full lab rat versus the green box, which is the stock car. And then the very bottom is throttle trace, where Ted's able to pick up throttle. So go ahead and roll this. So I'm going to cut to the end. You guys can take a look at it. But by the time Ted gets to the finish, he is a full 5 seconds faster in our version of a GT3 RS upgraded versus the stock car. I remember seeing that some German tuner was getting a lot of accolades for going 6 seconds faster on a 7-minute lap. Is that right? Something like that? And we went 5 seconds faster on a minute 40 lap, 45 lap. So what would that be in 7 minutes? Like, I don't know, a half an hour? Something like that? It's got to be half a lot. It's a half a bunch more than what they did. I know that much. So, and I'm not up here to like swing our dick around and like all that kind of shit. But the point is, if you're going to start comparing data, compare data that matters to you. 4 seconds? Does that say 4 or 5? It's 5. Oh, sorry, 4 seconds. The guys in the other part of the world were only 4 seconds faster. That's right. That's right. So, what's up? We got Walter in the house. Come on, man. Gotta be careful. So you can see Ted managed 5 seconds faster. He's a pro driver. And now the 4RS goes as fast as the new 3RS. And it doesn't cost, 4 seconds on the 12-mile track. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I'm watching all the chatter going on. We got a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of homies chatting with each other. That's perfect. That's perfect. Love it. I'm gonna sit here and talk to myself. That happens all the time for me anyway. Sit at home alone with my whiskey and chat at my cat. Hi, Kitty. So we've got a couple more for you. We're gonna switch coasts. Why don't let's reverse this. Show Seth versus Wadle, or Seth versus Seth, Lab Rat versus Wadle's car. So we're gonna show you a 991.2 GT3 RS Lab Rat driven by Mr. Seth Thomas at Road Atlanta, which is his home track, and we're going to show you him driving a much more stock 991.2 GT3 RS. His friend's car, Chris Wadle, which only has our street headers on it. So it picked up some power, but it doesn't have aero, it doesn't have MCS, it doesn't have AP radical brakes, it doesn't have our full power package, all that good stuff on it. So go ahead and roll that. You can see how Seth is able to find speed in all of the grippier sections of the track, the ballsier sections of the track, the sections of the track where the car would be more disturbed without downforce and without the compliance of MCS. You know, coming up here through the S's, Seth just destroys the stock car. It's absurd. Here, coming up to 6, they're pretty even. You can see that Seth's car is pulling a little bit more air than Chris's. But the difference already at this point is 2.5 seconds, 2.7 seconds. Coming up the back straight, you can actually see Chris starting to gain a little bit on him. This car's a little bit more slippery. He's not pushing a big splitter. He's not, pulling a big wing. But even then, Seth's able to keep it close, even though he's pushing all that air. And then through the braking zone, makes it all back. Thank you. Now we're going to go take a turn. And now we're going to go under this big, scary bridge. And I'm going to leave you standing there. Bye. 3.4 seconds. In a 1 minute 20, we'll call it a minute 30 second lap. So 3.4 seconds in a minute 30. Yeah, probably. Yeah, this is where having a race car driver can help, because he probably didn't start as quick on the entry to the back straight as he did in Chris's car. And that was the delta, not just power or slipperiness or all the rest. So we got one more for you. And then I'll stop burying you all with data. But I am going to drive this home the same way that my buddy Dougie let us know that he had the widest tires at Smokies about every chance he got. 285s, baby, 285s. You got 285? I got 285. All right, so the next one is Seth in his Lab Rat versus Ted in the 9923 RS. Enjoy. $295 next. Yeah, that's what I hear. $295 with a slightly lower aspect ratio should fit in there just tidy and nice. There's a lot of cars rear tires, so non-congs, right, Doug? CRS. Yeah, we'll just put it up. It's all right. The fact that these two cars overlay so precisely, it's absurd. You would think that this is just the same car driven by two guys. This is two different drivers. Douglas tires bring all the boys to the yard. I love it. Again, we've got a 525 horsepower car versus a 500 horsepower car. We've got a car with absurd aero, really, really wide tires, against a car that has less tire and less aero from the factory, and we're making them the same. So the point I'm trying to drive home by showing you all of this: 4RS, 3RS, GT4, 991.1 GT3 coming soon. That one's arriving on a truck from next week. We'll get our wing and deck lid and bumper and splitter and all that good stuff on there shortly. You don't have to buy a new 3RS. Yeah, that's a good one to show. We can make your car as fast as a 3RS, and you can keep $500,000 in your pocket. I mean, if you want a 3RS, you're welcome to buy one. It's a pretty rad car. It's probably the best thing that Porsche's ever made. But you don't have to do it all there. You can do it with what you've got. You can do it with any other thing, Well, not any other thing. I don't know. I suppose there's some Miatas that are that fast, but I know of one. It's pretty freaking fast. I think he went 125. Turbocharged. It's not a Miata anymore. It's a LS swapped, turbocharged, like 800 horsepower.
Like our fast Boxster?
Yeah, worse. Much, much worse. So yeah, this is Mr. Stedding's very badass car. He wrote me a wonderful comment the other day. He's like, the car is rad. I am so happy that we got it to where it is. And thank you to me and to Dundon, more Dundon than me, for getting it to be how it is. It looks rad. It's a very special car. It goes well. And most importantly, Dougie loves it. That's the most important. So, did we have any others? I think that was it, wasn't it? Yeah, we got Seth versus Wadle, Ted versus Seth, Ted versus himself, Yeah, that's enough for now. We'll put all this into a YouTube video at some point. Try and clean it up. Maybe it'll just be like Ted and I just shooting the shit here like we did with Ryan. Going through some of the finer points of how doing this to the car makes it easier to drive it fast. Because at the end of the day, that's what's happening. It's not just about make the car faster. It's about make it more approachable. So tooting our own horn, because, you know, that's what we do here. We've been cleaning up the shop, or I say we, Charles and the boys have been cleaning up the shop. We've got a whole big mezzanine area up here that I'm staring at. You'll notice that the orientation of our table is different. We now look down to the shop. Thank you. Yeah, we skipped right over that. Yeah. Can we grab that ultimate, the chart that he put up? Just the picture. It shows the difference of 0.4 seconds. Not that one. The 3RS, 992 3RS versus, yeah, it should be 0.4 seconds. It's in Slack if you can't find it. There you go. Yeah. So that scale. There we go. Just a tick under 0.4 seconds between those cars. So pretty rad. Pretty rad. Beep, beep. So Mike, I see you're in here. Thank you, sir. Did I see you got yourself a 4RS? I do believe I saw that. That's pretty awesome if you did. Mike may be looking to unload a set of MCS three-ways for a 991 GT3 RS, so he might get into some MCS three-ways for a GT4 RS. Unfortunately, they are different. The fronts are the same, but the rears are different. So better to sell it all as a kit, get a new kit, put it on the car. Done. Mixing and matching makes things cumbersome. Just cumbersome. Tooting our collective horn, indeed. The chat stuff comes up with a certain amount of delay. There is some hysteresis between when I speak and when I see some things showing up. So excuse me if I look a little confused sometimes by the comments. Huh? Hopefully this next week, Justin has had head down welding 4RS mufflers, because we got the parts. We owe people some goodies, so we have not been head down doing YouTube videos. But I did enlist our good friend Kirk Meyer this week. He is going to edit and produce films for us, which should be great, and take a little bit of the heat off of Justin, so we can start publishing some more things on YouTube, which we get monetized from YouTube a little bit. Did you catch that this week, Justin?
I saw.
That, I mean, I didn't see that it was really that big a deal, but hey, maybe we can make a few pennies. People watching YouTube videos of ours. That'd be awesome. We've got the new firmware and the instructions on how to load it for Pumpkin, so that may happen next week. Charles is making great headway. We're doing a full from zero with a different tuning strategy for all of our 997 D4 packages. And all of you with that stuff that it's running and you're happy with it, don't write me and say I got to have it tomorrow. Just chill out. When we have it all done, we will let you know, and we will work with you to get you an upgraded tune, because that's what we do. But in the meantime, we're working with a car here that has been super bitchy. The owner has been very patient. And, through his patience, he's going to be yielded with a very, very nicely tuned car, because we're actually essentially doing this the way the OEMs would do it. We're starting with the MAF curve, which is the way the car measures air going into it, and we're using that as the way to tell the car how much air it's ingesting. Sounds simple, seems obvious. It isn't, because we changed the size of the MAF, which means we have altered the amount of air that goes into the engine, which means then we have to change what the sensor is telling the engine, because the sensor is just going to read what the sensor reads. It doesn't know how big the MAF housing is. Am I losing you guys? I probably should explain how this works a little bit better. So mass airflow is a hot wire. And when you cool it off, the voltage across that wire changes. That's how a mass airflow sensor works. So it's heated up, and when air goes past it, depending on how much air, how much mass of air, not flow rate of air, mass of air goes past it, that's why it measures in grams per second, it will cool off the wire. When the wire gets cool, the voltage changes. So that's how it's able to tell how much mass of air is going across it. Now, it has to be calibrated, because if the sensor is this big, I don't know if you guys can see this, and the tube that it's going through is this big, and then I change the tube to be this big, the sensor is going to read the same amount, even though the amount of air going through the tube is drastically different, because it's going to cool off the same amount, and the voltage is going to change the same. So that's in essence what we're doing, because we're trying to fool the car a little bit so that it doesn't think it's in a much larger load range, and then it shuts down the party. So this is kind of old school tuning tricks. You do this on a Buick Grand National kind of shit to make it make more boost. Just scale the math, make it think it's making lower so it ramps it up. Similar idea, but you need the car on the dyno, and you have to do it over and over and over and over again to refine it so that it gets to be exactly where you want it. So we also have to start from the stock car, the stock MAF, and then model that, and then move to the next, and move to the next, and move to the next. So that's what's happening with that car. That was far longer to explain than I expected, but there you go. What else has been going on this week? Making a lot of shit. We're shipping some more aero parts, which is great. New goodies available. 4RS rear tie rods are have shipped. So all of you that want big fat rear tires on the back of your 4RS, give us a shout. It is not the only thing you need, so please don't say Jamie said all I need is tie rods. That is untrue. You do need more things than that, but this is the most important thing of the things that you need. I believe that it is squeakingly possible to do it on stock dampers, but we wouldn't recommend trying. So you can put an 11.5-inch rear tire with MCS 3-ways and our lower tie rod, which allows you a 325 rear. Somebody asked me a good question the other day. Why is more tire in the rear of a Cayman, which is a mid-engine car, a good thing? Shouldn't you want it to be square? Wouldn't you want it 325, 325, or 305, 305? Yeah, I suppose in some ways, sure. Yes. If we're just speaking in absolutes, yeah. But are you really going to run 265, 265? Because that's all you can put in the front? I hope not. Cars are going to be really squirrely because it's got a lot more power than what a, quote, momentum mid-engine car would normally have. So, and I go back to one of the things that Ted spoke about when he was at Thunder Hill with the car. He's like, if I had more rear tire, I could have probably gone faster because finding any rear grip was really hard. So when the car has lots of power and you're trying to put that into the ground, having more rubber never hurts. So 265s in the front for generally, yeah, exactly. Most Cayman chassis is plenty. We looked at trying to put a 285 in there. I'm curious if that 295/30 that Doug's looking at might be better, because the 285/35s were just too chonky chonk. They were just thick boys on the front of that car. Too much sidewall. So we'll look at that. We'll look at that at some point. Plans for the new 3RS. So we spent a little bit of time. We had a bit of a surprise earlier this week. Can you find the picture that Robert put up of 3RS Dev of the surprise from earlier this week? That was fun. Pizza cutters, 265 pizza cutters. Attaboy. So we got the 3RS, took the diffuser off to put it on the dyno, and we're met with this. What the fuck, Porsche? Why is there an oil leak in my brand new car? Why is there oil all over my diffuser? What the hell? Always something. So, anybody who plays with cars enough will appreciate this phrase, I hate cars. It's just kind of a general thing. So, Robert got it all cleaned up, got the car on the dyno. Charles got some dyno runs in it. No leaks. Okay. Possible the car was overfilled from Porsche. Possible. And it got shaken up in the mountains and shaken up on Road Atlanta. A bunch of pro driver hooligans out there ripping on a freaking street car. So we're just going to watch it. We're just going to watch it. We got it cleaned up. We're going to take it to the track next week. We will be taking it. Tires got here today, so that's awesome. More Super Sport R's, so we got some sticky. I may try and get another car in to the fray, because I think the .1 and the 718 are getting dropped tomorrow. That's what I heard. So as long as the 991.1 GT3 is ready, like ready, has harnesses and the brake fluid isn't full of water and all that kind of shit, has reasonable brake pads on it, then we might bring it to the track. Just then I can drive the 3RS and Ted can drive the 991.1 GT3 and I might be able to keep up. Maybe. Last time we did that was a hoot. I talked about this last week. Ted out in the 992 GT3 Lab Rat and me in the Cup car. He was hanging that car out everywhere. It was so awesome to see from behind. And I'm like having to slow down in the middle of the straight. Just run him over. So I need a rabbit to chase when I'm on track. It's because I don't drive the car. I drive my memory of what I remember the car doing the last time I drove it. So it means I got a big brain, but not a very fine-tuned popo sensor. So we're going to work on the popo sensor this year. Not driving it by big brain, which means getting on the fucking sim and trying to drive with my eyeballs, because that's probably the best way to do that. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Last thing, and then we'll move on to the next thing, which is, I don't know what that thing is, but you guys will come up with something. Finger followers. Ted and I have fielded probably a 4,000% jump in when is Dundon going to release the finger follower solution that they spoke of 8 years ago? Probably more like 5, but close enough. We're not releasing a solution for finger followers. We're not. And here's why. I don't know what Porsche's going to do. You got that video? Yeah, thanks, Tosh. The video he's talking about is the Cup chasing the 992 GT3 with me at the hoon wheel of the Cup car. Hee hee hee. Watch out. Hide your children. Jamie's in a race car. The solution for the finger follower dilemma is to proactively inspect and replace the worn finger followers. We're going to demonstrate this in our 991.1 GT3 once it gets here and we get caught up on a couple other projects. We've got a bunch of cars on racks that need to get gone. We've got a bunch of welding that needs to get done. We've got a bunch of remodeling that needs to get finished, a bunch of organizing of all of our new parts that we're going to be stocking. We're going to be a stocking dealer for MCS. We're working out to be a stocking dealer for PFC. That way lead times will be short and we won't be caught out with, oh yeah, you can have that in 6 weeks. Oh yeah, 6 weeks, I don't want it. Well, okay. Much rather keep someone's money than give it back. So we'll do that. We've got more aero parts coming in, and we're going to get all of our house in order, all of our house clean, and then we're going to start doing 3RS development. So that means 3RS development Probably the scan will happen when Horvaje is here in June. Horvaje is our Croatian engineer. And then we'll have to clean up those scans. We'll have to put them all together, and that'll take a minute. So probably not until, I would say, July, middle of July, before we really get started in earnest on goodies for the 3RS. And probably some of them are going to be pretty basic, like wind deflectors, which, interesting anecdote, that car doesn't wind buffet. Put the windows down, it doesn't wind buffet. All the hot air comes around. If you put your fingers a little bit farther out the window, all you feel is hot air coming out of the radiator. Which I'd have to do some math, but I believe because of the lower density of that hot air, it prevents the wind buffeting because it's less dense. If it's less dense, it doesn't have as much to snap against. It just kind of, it's more like puffy. It's loose air as it's going across the car. It's not as tight. It's not tight air. It's like when you wear your sweatpants versus your dress pants. It's loose. Sometimes my analogies flop. I think that one might have, but I'm literally, Salty's over here just staring through me at this point. He ain't even looking at me. So, you know what it's like to be a comedian when you say a joke that does not actually take. So that's the deal with the 3RS. And quite honestly, Ted and I are still getting a feel for the car. You know, a couple more days out on track. I think Ted's got a 139 in it. I think you'll find that. He knows there was a 139 in the 4RS because he was on a 139 flyer after this lap and caught traffic. So, yeah. I think that's enough. Yeah, is that enough? We got anything else out there in internet lands? Y'all got any fun plans for the weekend? Nobody has plans for the weekend. Or there is a large delay in seeing anything that people have plans for the weekend, which is also possible. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Let me know how that plan comes together.
Coming together, great.
It's coming together fantastically. Last comment I see on here is Taj Sport, here's that video. So hopefully by posting the video in a chat on YouTube about a YouTube video didn't create a vortice of which we can't come back from. We created a YouTube black hole.
Hey, it happens.
You got to be careful of those black holes. Because it is almost Burger 30. You're waiting at the shop for the... Seriously, dude? It's like 8:20. But Black Walter is known for his customer service.
Damn straight.
Saved our ass at breakfast in the La Quinta Holiday Inn, wherever the hell we were staying at the track. And the wheels beat us home, which is, yes, recovering from the week is always my plan, but I think I might actually, I think the missus and I are going to go on a drive-through hamburger bonanza weekend. Frisco Freeze, we have never been to.
Really?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, check that.
All right. Yeah, I heard that. We just went to Jubilee today for the first time.
Okay, Jubilee's a good one.
Jubilee was good.
Burger Ranch next door is better.
Is it?
Yeah,
Burger Ranch is better?
Jubilee used to have different owners, and it was top notch.
All right.
So you can be on the correct side of the drive-through.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
nice.
Your side drive up window.
I saw that. Yeah, we're going to try and hit up, we'll probably go to, what is it, Pickwick in Fife?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just straight up hamburgers. We don't get the milkshakes and all the rest of the stuff. Oh, we'll probably go to Shake, Shake, Shake in Stadium.
They're good.
So,
Big Bubba's in Allen. You wanna go country?
maybe. Isn't there a Big Bubba? Yeah, out on the way to Shelton.
Yeah.
I've been there before. That was good.
Lucky's in Parkland's good.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep. So, all right, y'all, you have a wonderful weekend. We're gonna talk hamburger some more, and I'll go pick up some hamburgers. Burger, absolutely. All right, we'll talk to y'all on Tuesday. We are closed on Monday. Celebrate those that came before us and fought in our stead in all of the wars that hopefully none of y'all have seen. because that's some scary shit. I just wonderful downer to end the show. Yes. Well done, Jamie. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Good night.